The bidet is technically just the name of the device,
right? It must have been.
That's weird.
Oh, we're live.
We're live.
Are
people.
we? Yeah, that was a short video. I must have played the old one. That was just kid.
Hey, you know what it is.
I'm joking, y'all. We in the building. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. We got a lot to get into on today's episode, man, as we got a little news around Caleb Williams, a little breaking news. I don't know about breaking news, but Caleb Williams ended up breaking a NFL record, so you got to bring attention to that. Also got some news around Teven Jenkins that we got to talk about. I mean, listen, he's
flaccid horn.
Yeah, well, for real.
Snap.
We got to recap this game, of course, and Shane Waldron. Is he making the right calls? And, of course, the best and worst of the weekend. All that more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but we got the squad in the building. Yeah. As always, man, the pettiest man alive, Mr. P. Kid in the building. The super producer, Joel Holt. C-Dub back there on the ones and twos, and that red shoulder in the corner is Drew in the building. He's running the audio for us today. We got an audio guy.
Yeah, we got an audio guy.
He came up. Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, power. Yeah. Hey, man, we appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with us as always, man. What's going on with the chat? Who was in the chat first? Michael Anthony in the chat first. That is a great Southside name right there.
Has two first names.
Michael Anthony, bro.
Yeah, he's always getting a job.
You know what I'm saying? He's never not getting a job, man.
Clean
Crimson in the building. Jay Garf in the building. What's good, Jay Garf?
289.
Is he catfishing people? Gotta watch out for that guy.
Gotta watch out for that guy.
Hey, man, let's jump into a little bit of this Bears recap because Chicago Bears get a dub. This is a Bears victory Monday. No jersey? No. No.
Are they eating W's? Are we doing it, James?
No. That's
W's?
one of the most
W's?
cringe-worthy. Even his teammates,
bro.
Even his teammates.
That was ugly.
Think is cringeworthy,
diabolical.
Bro. It's diabolical work. But Bears come away with a dub, so we might as well recap and take a look at what the Chicago Bears team did versus the Rams.
The main
I did.
He's not muted.
This is my
Got the Week 4 recap brought to you by us. The final score of the game, 24-18. The Chicago Bears come away with a win. 322 total yards. Caleb Williams got the passing yards going in this one. And dare I say, we found a run game, Joel.
We did.
119 rushing yards. Bears controlled the time of possession for a good chunk of that game. The penalties is still a scary situation for this Bears team, but I thought the Bears pretty much went out there and balled out. When you look at this thing defensively, this defense is flying all over the field. One fumble, one interception, 61 tackles. You had 3 sacks on the day, 7 tackles for loss, and 3 passes defended. The Rams defense was still getting after Caleb Williams a little bit, but nothing crazy. I can't say that. I'm sorry. I tried. I can't lie to the people. No, he's still getting hit way too much. My quarterback is getting put on his back way too much. But dare I say, not a bad day for Caleb Williams. As you can see, 157 yards, 1 touchdown, 106.6 passer rating, no interceptions on the day. DeAndre Swift, the story of the day. He was 7 for 12 on receptions, had 93 receiving yards on the day, and 1 touchdown. Roschon Johnson also contributed 7 carries, 26 yards, 1 touchdown, but added to that smash mouth football. I thought that was really good. Hey, $1 million. $1 million. He does not make much. DJ Moore got in on it just slightly with 1 touchdown, 3 receptions on 22 yards for the day. That dynamic's still a little bit off. Got to see that one start to get back together, but they're finding it. And Jaquan Brisker, got to be the Breeze baller of the week, right? When you look at, 12 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, one pass defended, one QB hit, and you didn't throw it up there, but one interception, the final interception of that game.
What did he do?
I mean, listen, he was all over the field. He was absolutely dominating all over the field. You can't go wrong with anything. I swear for Lord, if a punter shows up on this highlight reel, I will take you out. TJ Edwards with 9 tackles on, you bastard. 9 tackles, but 1 tackle for loss. He was all over the field as well. The linebacker room looks great. Montez Sweat with 2 tackles, 1 sack, 1 QB hit, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass defended. He really was jumping all over the place, forcing some tough passes. Javon Dexter, the 3-tech of the future, he got a sack. You know he's a dog. Kevin Byard coming with 7 tackles on the day as well. Man, this Bears team really dominated the day. You better not have a punter on this mug. That's all I know. You better not have a punter on this mug. But no, boys. I mean, listen, we got the punter did fine. The punter did fine. You know what the punter did on Sunday?
Punted.
Well, he punted. He did his job. He did his job. That's it. He did what we asked him to do. He did what we asked him to do.
He had some special punts, man.
Hey.
That ball bouncing
We're not doing that.
We're not doing this.
Listen,
We're not doing this.
He did exactly what every other punter did there yesterday. He kicked the ball. That's what he did. He kicked the ball.
And you know how he kicked it? Well, good job. Do it again tomorrow. Do it again tomorrow.
4th rounder, baby.
4th rounder. You better do that every single week. By the way, over 100 in the chat. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Let's jump into it. When you look at this Bears game overall, I mean, listen, I thought that you got to see some development out of Caleb Williams in the second half of the game. I thought that offensively the Bears really figured some things out. I thought that they really just executed in the second half, just leaps and bounds better than they did in the first half. I thought the player execution was night and day, and I was excited about what we saw out of this offense, while my quarterback was still ending up getting hit and having to be on his back way too much.
Got hit a lot of times. Was it a 5 total? You said, or was it 6?
What Caleb Williams felt on his body was 5 sacks, but they only put 3 on the stat sheet.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And despite that, I mean, you have to say this shaky first half, shaky first quarter for the most part.
First
half,
shaky first half.
But we start to cook a little bit, and then you start to see the continuity kind of get there. Main thing, no turnover. So even with the bad hits, getting the pressures and things of that nature, Caleb still being composed and not turning the ball over. Gotta love that from a rookie QB. It is a night and day from the game 1. So I love to see this trajectory. I know we'll go into that a little bit as well. Joe, what you got?
No, I felt the whole thing was more about can this offense establish some type of rhythm and continuity. And so if they, like I said, they could win this game if they could just keep the offense on the field. And so, being able to keep the defense fresh a little bit, and when they needed to pin their ears back, they did that. And so I was just happy to see the ground game was actually started to be established. Like they figured out something in the second half. Now, I don't know if is that tied to Jenkins went down, and then they put Davis in, and Pryor went to the left.
Yeah,
and they had to go more to the ground game, but it worked. And then I think DeAndre Swift, I mean, he looked great. He made a couple moves where he breaks free and he takes off for that. What was it, like a 40-yard run or something like that?
Yeah, that big run at the end. Big run.
So the biggest thing, like I've always been saying, is that if we can protect the quarterback with a run game and a defense, we're going to have a lot of success. And the thing is, you didn't have to almost play perfect to win this game, because that's typically what ends up happening with a typical Bears team with a great defense. The defense has to bail you out. And so I was very encouraged, because it was hard to watch again that first half.
That first half, you should have seen me and Joel on that.
Faces.
Hey, I was so depressed, dog. I was like, we got 3 wins coming this year.
Yeah, you did.
I was down bad, bro. I was like, we had 28 yards of offense, bro. I was like, no, we can't win this way. It's impossible.
It was bad.
It was bad.
No, but I think overall, when you look at the schedule, it's games. So that's why the Colts game hurts like it does, because these are games that they should be winning. Now, it's one thing to go toe-to-toe with a contender and maybe you end up losing the game, whatever. Like, you deserve to be there. Mm-hmm. That's my biggest thing, is that we look competitive. We deserve to be on TV, and the Bears, can look like they can play. So for them to be able to beat the Rams, mind you, minus Cooper Kupp, minus Puka Nacua, that might have made a difference.
It happens.
Listen,
I mean, a win is a win.
No, win's a win. You're right.
Is San Francisco defense good?
No, I'm just saying that.
You know what I mean?
By
San
measure.
Francisco got a good defense.
But you're talking about the
Yeah.
respect that a team gets. Like it is a respectable win. That's still a respectable team.
It's still a respectable. Now, listen, if they had come in and they had got the doors blown off by San Fran and then we beat them, it's like, all right, they missing all their weapons.
Yeah.
I just watched this team win versus a good team in the NFC.
Yeah.
The crazy
That
thing
was also missing its weapons.
No,
True,
I got
true.
you. All I'm saying is I'm glad that the Bears were able to compete and that they basically didn't. They should have won. And the thing is that the offense, we're seeing something like, I don't know what it is between this first half to second half.
Yeah.
Like they did it last week.
First half been ugly.
So like, can we bring that momentum coming out the gate? I didn't like the first quarter. I didn't like that first series where they went all the way down and they basically just gave up.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, go ahead and play. You should have scored on that first drive. They could have did a little bit more to even at least kick a field goal.
Just don't end stuff with a tight end screen, bro. Like, I don't understand why they love this dang tight end screen so much. I love screen passes, bro.
Yeah.
When you give the ball to a fast dude and a fast dude is being
Good
blocked by a big dude, and then that big dude therein opens up a first down. I don't know why we want to do it the other way. We know you got this fast dude over here.
They put Rome on the
They
guy.
put Rome blocking.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, the play is called. You got to execute the play, and that's what I mean by player execution.
Of course.
Roman Dunes, they didn't even try to block that dude. He was like, "This ain't my job." Like, no, that's a problem. And I think you know, to the credit of the veterans on your team, I think they set the tone in the second half of this game.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is DJ Moore and Keenan Allen didn't get involved in the passing game a ton because there wasn't much of a passing game outside of dumping it off to DeAndre Swift because that's what was open. They kind of took away a lot of the stuff downfield or the pressure was too quick, so Caleb has to get rid of the football. But on those screen passes, Keenan and DJ are two of the guys that are blocking. Keenan Allen is one of the guys running on that one screen that was up the left side, I think it was. And DJ Moore is absolutely leading the way, blocking, setting the tone, saying, hey, I don't care how much money we make. We got to go out here and do our jobs. I thought that was good to see in the second half, and I thought that really set the tone for the rest of the team to kind of get themselves back in order.
I like the way that they used Roshan, too. Roshan was pretty much in the right situations. So I really love the goal line play where they put the offensive line.
Doug Kramer back there.
And I mean, they just plowed a hole for this guy that they get to the end zone.
Yeah.
So it was good to see them actually, put a better game plan out there and they looked respectable. Now, I definitely I didn't like that Caleb had, what did we say, 28 yards passing in the first half?
Yeah.
28 yards?
It was crazy.
We got some stuff to, they still got to figure that out.
No, and at the end of the day, too, I know we're big on not being a second half team, but if you look around the league, let's be for real, and please, somebody fact check this on Pete Rose. That's facts.
Dang.
Wow. They're trying to get him into the Hall of Fame, too.
MLB, Pete Rose never getting in as long as
now he is.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But still won't let him in. That sucks. MLB legend Pete Rose dies at 83.
Wow.
Hate to bring it down, but we were going to talk about both of them. Talk about Dikembe at the end, but we lose Dikembe Mutombo today, one of the greatest players in NBA history as well. Might as well do it now. I mean, moment of silence for both of them. Thank you very much. Dang.
Wow, that hurts.
Pete Rose, Dikembe Mutombo on the same day.
Hey, one of my favorite clips of just people talking sports all the time is him, A-Rod, and I think
when he's teaching you how to don't change your swing.
Yo, man,
no,
that was
him.
crazy.
Was it Frank or was it Big Papi? I think it was Big Papi.
No, it was Frank.
Was it Frank?
It was Frank and A-Rod.
I
love that.
Frank
clip.
was my favorite.
I love when Kanye had recently one of the recent songs with Mutombo. He's like, I got a middle finger longer than Dikembe.
Oh yeah.
I love
That's
that
crazy.
line.
That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, hate losing that guy. I have his rookie card. I remember him on Denver. I remember them beating Seattle. They upset, the Supersonics with Sean Kemp.
Yeah.
They had Robert Pack on that squad back in the day. I think it was LaFonso Ellis. Like, I remember those times. And Dikembe is on the ground like this, holding the ball because they had upset the Supersonics.
Yeah. He's somebody who don't get enough respect for his time in Philly.
He was old by the time he got there. Like Iverson carried that whole squad.
I mean,
but that defensive front was the reason they made
finals.
it. Yeah.
No, he was a defender, but he was a limited player.
Who typed that in?
I saw that.
Who typed that in? Was that Drew over there? I just saw Joel as old as dirt. It's like, hey, like
he played what,
Drew
like
over
4
there
years
giggling
after that
his butt
too?
off.
Like, no, he was still functional. Like he was still getting
he was
defensive
still
player of
good.
the year votes. He was still getting DPOY
He was a
votes.
one-dimensional defensive player. The problem
sure.
is that Iverson needed other guys to help score.
Hey, somebody messed Iverson up because he said.
Yeah, I know what you're about to say
They
too.
was talking about he was basically like you ain't have no teammates that can help you in the
He ain't
finals.
had no
If you
all-star
had one,
teammates.
Yeah.
you'd have been fine. And he
Yeah.
was like, man, we had some dogs on that team. And Buddy said, which one of your teammates made an all-star game? And AI said,
None.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric
hey, you
Snow,
messed me up with that one. I can't even say nothing.
Eric Snow, Aaron McKee.
No, not yet.
No, he
Or-
wasn't there yet. Well,
or
that's
was he a
after. That's
rookie?
after. Now
Was
he's
he a
talking about the
rookie?
We're
finals.
talking about
yet.
that year.
The
There was
finals
no
year,
all
yeah.
stars.
Eric Snow.
Hey, man,
Eric
that's
Snow was a
tough.
dog.
That's tough. You hate to hear that.
Jeez, I can't even-
Rest in power to both of them, especially P. Rose, one of the greatest hitters of all time, if not the greatest hitter
Bruh.
of all
So
time.
he got the
I
same
mean,
percentage with the left as he do the right.
Yeah, P. Rose ridiculous.
Crazy.
P. Rose
Hey, let that
ridiculous.
man in the
P.
hall.
Rose-
It's over,
P.
man.
Rose can do
Hey,
whatever
listen.
he want.
Everybody betted on games back then.
Pete Rose could do. Hey, and Pete ballsy with it, bro. He said, "I'm betting on me." Hey, he said, "I got 100,000. Bet you we sweep this series."
Come on.
Brotherhood, hey,
That's a hard
leave me
transition.
alone.
Brotherhood said, "New drinking game." Every time Joel says, "I remember," take a drink.
Back in my day,
Back in my day.
Man, that's a hard transition back
used to
into
play
the
with
Bears
plumbers.
topic.
It's a hard transition back into the Bears, but I mean
but the Bears
that is
won.
what we're here to talk about. So
And then here's the one thing I say about the Bears winning, though. We're 2-2.
Yep.
And if you really look at the schedule,
I
right?
forgot to put the standings
It's
up.
all good. We're
yeah.
2-2, but if you really look at it, and we did this exercise, we did it many weeks before the season started. We are right where we said we are going to be.
Yes,
Many of
but
us
we
had
need
the
that-
Rams
yes, we
as a
are
loss.
because we thought the Rams was a loss and we thought that Houston was
was
a
going
loss.
to
Yes, we are.
So we're
I-
right where we said we're going to be.
I was veering more towards 3-1, but yeah, it is what it is.
And most
That
of us
Colts
had
game that hurts.
Most of us had where we thought Minnesota would be a sweep. Maybe we split now. They seem to be cooking a little bit.
but we'll
I mean,
see.
maybe we
We'll
split
see.
now.
They
We
still
usually
play
got
our
Minnesota
defense.
number. Maybe it was
It's
a
too
Kirk
early.
They
Cousins
still
thing.
got to play our
We
defense.
thought we normally have Jared Goff's number.
We usually have Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins
but
number too.
I can't say I'm
Well,
like,
Sam
oh
Darnold back
man,
there.
Sam Darnold's like that's like Wayne Brady on the.
I was just in,
oh snap! It's Sam Darnold, yo. I don't know we're doing that.
Hey, no, we're not doing that. But it's like, hey, you have somebody that's getting that ball out.
No,
to
but it's not about it's Sam Darnold. It's about
his
the
receivers.
Sam Darnold's offensive line. Oh snap! Sam Darnold's got
I
Justin
know,
Jefferson
I
over
know,
there.
I'm just
Oh
saying, but
snap! Like
you know what I'm
So,
saying?
I'm not worried about Sam Darnold. I'm worried about everything they put around Sam Darnold that seems to be absolutely cooking.
I had us at 10-7. I had us at 4-4. By the time we hit the game 4, we had 2 losses because I
Yep.
thought the Rams were a better team. I thought the Houston was a better team, at least a little more experience from the QB position. I thought that was going to shine through. So we're right where we're supposed to be. The only part for me, the only part that's going to really sit there and take a turn is if we drop one of these next 2 games because we should beat Carolina, and ain't no way Sunshine's getting a win over
We
us.
better.
Sunshine real mediocre.
Only thing about Sunshine,
He do got a team,
They
though.
look bad.
He got a team.
Not really. They bad. They're a bad football team. The only way that I see Sunshine getting a win is because they have the advantage with being in London.
Yeah.
They're used to that. They go down there, and the Bears
And
go.
That is an advantage.
So how the Bears take a trip? They go to London 3 days before the game. The Jaguars are there 2 weeks before the game.
Yeah.
Or no, they go the week before the game. So right after they game. So almost it's like 10 days. The week before the game, they go. They're there for like 10 days. They have the game versus the Bears. Then they there a whole nother week. Then they got the next game in London. Then they come back after that second game because they play 2 games in a row. So they're already going to be acclimated for the most part to everything you got to deal with, jet lag, all that stuff in London. Because Shad Khan is like, I got deep pockets and I'm going to throw this money your way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is going to be, I still feel good about the Bears winning that game,
Feel good,
but it is, that's a drastic change. It's an 8 a.m. game in London.
That's gonna be a tough one.
Little breakfast football. I will
That's
be drinking
crazy.
that night though, because I will be off work at goddamn 3:30.
Mm.
Hey,
Yeah, Yeah, something like that.
12-1. Yeah, I'll be off work at 3:30. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a great day. It'll be a phenomenal day. Appreciate that.
Honestly, though, I really do think that this is a pivotal time in the schedule, right? So our next 5 games are all winnable games, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm confident in thinking that we're going to go at least, I'm hoping at least 4-1. I mean, if we go 3-2, that's nice, but then, you're looking at a record where we're still battling the Vikings, who seem to be, I don't know why they're perfect right now, but they're perfect. And Green Bay just got Jordan Love, and he balled out yesterday, even though they lost. And so
It's a good
played
second
pretty
half.
good, bro.
It was a good second half.
And as a fantasy
though.
owner,
I mean, listen, bad but good second half.
3 interceptions, though.
but he gave me some good fantasy.
He
points.
gave you some good fantasy points. They ain't got nothing to do with it, what he did in the game.
He had a sunshine game.
Hey, they lost the game because of him 100%.
But you know what? At the end of the day, I do feel like these next few games are real pivotal. I do like the fact, though, that I see progression.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about our quarterback. I jumped on the bandwagon 100% right away. I was like, strap your boots, we're going to the moon. And I kind of dialed back a little bit, right? Because I was like, all right, let's get realistic. We do have a rookie quarterback with a terrible offensive line. So, okay, let's just see how he progresses. Let's see how he progresses. And now
tell us how you really
he's
feel.
been progressing, and every week his QBR rating is going up. I think he was at, 101 yesterday or something like that. So, to me, that's what I want to see. And I want to see how he does against better defenses as well that's coming your way. So, I'm excited about where we're at. I do think we got a good future ahead of us, man.
Shout out King Booker World with the super chat says sunshine equals back alley trash can trash. I love Crimson's comment as well. Balled out. That man was passing to everyone, including the opponents. What a pass by Jordan Love to the other team.
But as a fantasy owner,
we talk about my fantasy purposes.
Hey, that was a revenge game for Aaron Jones too.
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, a little
He
bit.
got loose too.
Yeah, a little bit.
For fantasy purposes.
As that Joel, I'm at the right stand.
No, it didn't update. Hold on.
Sorry, I was about to say, what's
It
going on there, Joe?
I'm
about to do. Well, all right. Well, how about that? While we wait for the standings to sync, let's take a quick break. We'll hear a word from our sponsors.
And we have 200.
We got over 200 in the chat.
The pumps are a thing now. I can't do the pumps. Like, listen, I can't do it like Jordan does it too. That man just has like emphasis on it.
It's like there's an upward
like,
thrust and everything.
This is awkward for me. I don't know. I can't do it.
Hey, let's take a quick break here. Go and hear a word from our sponsors. Then on the flip side of that, we'll come back in. We will talk about Caleb Williams and the growth that he has shown through his first 4 weeks, and even seeing some of the growth that we saw in that fourth quarter. Some people saying this was his best game to date. We'll talk about if we agree with that as well. We'll be back right on the other side. Happening Bears Nation, it's your boy Pat, the designer from the Windy City Breeze, where we keep it 100 about everything Chicago Bears. Now, if you're like me, you don't just watch the game, you live it, and that's why you need to check out BetDSI. BetDSI is where it's at if you want to put your money where your mouth is. They've been doing it for over 20 years, giving you the best odds, lightning fast payouts, and a platform that's as solid as the best O-line. Whether you're betting on the Bears to take it all the way or making clutch live bets during the game, BetDSI has you covered. And here is the kicker. Just because you're rolling with the Windy City Breeze, BetDSI is hooking you up. Sign up today with the promo code WCB, and they'll give you 120% bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000. That's free money, folks, to make sure that you're winning as you back our boys in the blue and orange. So what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Head over to betdsi.eu, use the code WCB, and start turning your Bears passion into serious cash. BetDSI, where real Bears fans get it done. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out request just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. For tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We're talking about the Chicago Bears and their game versus the Los Angeles Rams, coming out victorious 24-18. Now the question that everybody really cares about, the development of Caleb Williams. And I like how Joel put this on the screen. Caleb has had a solid game.
Yes.
But was this his best game to date? 4 weeks in, 157 yards, solid second half, very subpar first half. Wasn't really being asked to do a ton in the first half,
True.
though. 5 for 7 pass on pass attempts, right? Nothing crazy. Very short passes that were immediately getting blown up. But you see Caleb Williams come away in this week 4 with the dub, and a dub that it felt like the offense absolutely led to, not just behind the defense, going out there and being dominant, even though they also did that. Was this Caleb Williams' best game to date, and do you feel like he's still moving in the right direction?
I think it was his most efficient game. And I think it was one where we actually got to see still had some overthrows, but we saw some of those elite passing skills that we've been waiting for. You look at that pass over to DJ Moore, touch there. Nice ball placement. Love that. Like you mentioned, not asked to do much, took the check down, threw it away at times. I think you were on the post game. You actually explained that. Threw it away at the appropriate time. So
there's a bunch of times where Muzz is sitting there going, he's overthrowing him. I'm like, he's throwing the football away. There's one read, it's not there. He's getting rid of it. Like, I like that.
So he did what you want. He managed the game well.
Well,
and I know that that's a derogatory term for some, but this is your 4th game for your rookie QB. You won because of him or because of his contribution. You didn't lose because of him. And that's what you want right now. So I think that's progression in that respect.
Maybe it's too I've been saying this for a little bit that, Waldron, he comes over from Seattle. He has his system. Has to get acclimated to all of these new players, the offensive line, the receiving core, all of it, and a rookie quarterback. So you're starting to get tape. You're starting to get situations where you can see how the players react to certain things. Okay, we're getting a lot of pressure up the middle. Maybe we could do this, we can do that. So now you have 4 weeks of tape, right? And so you're noticing that his completion percentage went from 48% to 62% to 63% to 73.9. So I mean, like, yes, the yardage matters, but it's more about you can throw all those yards and how many times you see quarterbacks throw and still lose?
Yeah.
I mean,
Joe Burrow.
That happens all the time. But if you play
Burrow
the
had
smart game,
363, 3 touchdowns.
Hey, Jordan Love just had a 300-yard game with 4.
So
for the other team,
right? So what I'd like to see was him establishing the rhythm in the first half. So we're still working on those things, and I think too, like, if you've been shell shocked a lot, right? So it's like he's been hit a lot. So the idea is like, but when he's had time, like he threw a perfect. I wouldn't say dot, but it was a perfect pass.
Which one?
The touchdown to DJ Moore.
That's a dot.
Like right over the middle.
And the Cole
That's a dot.
He
That's
dropped
a dot.
it.
That's a dot.
Okay. If it's
it's not a dot. A dot is more of a straight line pass.
Yeah.
That's a drop. That's a drop in the bucket.
Exactly.
It's a drop in the bucket.
Right. So
It's an elite pass.
he
We
had-
got to get one of them like water drip sounds.
Yeah, I like that one.
So he puts it in the right spot. But did you notice how much space he had around him?
Yeah.
He had a lot of time, and he had a very clean pocket.
Yeah.
So it's like if you give him the time to do it. Now I think yes, some of the comments were he has definitely been throwing. You know what do you say?
Jordan Love was player of the game for both teams.
That's crazy.
That's
work.
hilarious, actually.
That's crazy.
Baki's
Work.
like, hey Pat, how much Joe Burrow make?
A lot.
A lot.
You're supposed to pay quarterbacks.
Hey,
though.
I'm talking
I
about
just think
he's the
that-
reason they got an indoor
Yeah,
facility.
you're
you know?
supposed to pay quarterbacks.
I do now. I felt that he was going to come out and surprise a lot of teams on a Will Levis kind of thing, and then they would get tape on him, and then they'd have to adjust to it. That's what I thought would happen with Caleb. I knew that there was going to be the struggle.
Yeah.
I just figured it was after a few games. It's clearly not the case. He's been getting better incrementally, but it's also like finding out that this offensive line has some issues. It's finding out that he's got how do you play the personnel the right way? So I'm happy to see him getting better each game, and hopefully, it's getting to a point where he doesn't get killed and he can make it through the end of the season. So, but yeah, I like that completion percentage, and
I like this too. This is quarterback ratings. I was going to bring this up as well. Name Z brought it up. 55.7,
Shout out to Name Z.
51.0, 80.8, 106.6. Looks like improvement to me, and that's facts. That is facts. You know what I mean? Like I think that is a. When you talk about what we've seen this guy be able to deal with, I think people are underestimating because all of a sudden, right? You said this yourself. The offensive line looked better in the second half.
Yep.
No, it didn't.
It didn't? No.
the running game.
Caleb Williams looked better in the second half.
Oh, you preach 7.
Oh,
DeAndre Swift looked better in the second half.
Okay.
The outside player execution looked better in the second
I
half.
guess you're hitting right there.
Braxton Jones was still going backwards. Now, I think that Matt Pryor showed you maybe enough to say you can feel confident about him at left guard,
Yes.
but Coleman Shelton still struggled in the second half.
Yeah.
Nate Davis is still Nate Davis.
Still
Well,
ain't
let me
Davis.
qualify that. When I say they look good, I didn't say they went from here. They just
No,
look
I'm
better.
just saying. I'm just
They were
saying.
better than they were in the first
could be
half.
5% better.
No, but what I'm saying is the better is just like, hey, you went from being trash to like garbage.
But is it?
And that to me is not better. That's still it's really bad because
snap.
Caleb Williams, like I said earlier, should have been sacked 5 times in this game.
Well, that was
He was
improvement.
taking a ton of hits in this game. But what changed in that second half was your guys on the outside making more plays, getting more plays to the outside, getting more plays to where Caleb Williams can use his feet a little bit more and he's not stuck in the pocket. Establishing DeAndre Swift, who we got to talk about as well today. I think that those are things that negate some of the struggles you can have by having a bad offensive line. And so all of a sudden you go, oh, it feels better. That looked better. Caleb wasn't under as much pressure. The best play they had was when they were blocking for that touchdown.
But the other thing was, did you see Jared Verse?
Bro. And this is
Jared
Before we
Verse.
get too far, I gotta get C-Dub and trying to get it in over here. C-Dub, what you got, dog?
I mean,
Dub, you know you just jump in on this show. Just,
yeah.
snap. So anyway, like I was saying.
no, but you know what? Like I was saying earlier, I see progression in him, but I'm not like overly excited about the game, and I do think that, and then part of my mental could be what a lot of other people are feeling too as well, right? You're naturally comparing what you had in Fields and who played really good yesterday. You're comparing what the number 2 pick did. He didn't play good. He played good yesterday. What?
Hey, listen.
Oh,
He
Jesus.
did play well. He did play well.
really
He did
good,
play
isn't
well. That fumble is nuts.
Well, yeah, that
fumble
fumble
was
was
That
bad.
fumble is wild.
He gonna give you one.
Hey,
he
dog,
gonna give you one.
But
Lamar.
they were
Lamar
down.
gonna give you. He gonna give you one.
They were down 17-0. He brought them back. So
He
you
did.
got to give him credit.
He did.
You know, so I mean, I think naturally too, we're comparing Caleb to other quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels had another good game, yesterday, obviously too. So, comparing to what he's supposed to be doing, and then we're not really sometimes it's easy to do that and not really look at the game tape and really see what's really going on. And what's really going on is just that he has a really bad offensive line. I see him make some throws yesterday. I was really impressed. That Cole Kmet pass over the middle,
Yep.
and that touchdown to DJ Moore was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But there were still some passes though, right? I think he missed DJ Moore on it was this pass I saw. He was really trying to force it to Rome in the end zone. And you saw and DJ Moore on the left side just hit his man like that.
Yeah, it was wide
Man,
open.
It was wide
Yeah,
open.
yeah.
I'm like, boy, he missed that one. But you know he's gonna miss some. So
Every QB
the
does.
title
Yeah.
of Caleb Williams has had a solid game is fair. It was a solid game.
Pull
It
up.
wasn't great. It was solid.
And you know the most
Like-
interesting thing about what you just said is all of this, like the development, you could kind of see it. Yeah, it wasn't. You had some plays you probably want back, but he still did really well. We're seeing improvement, and he hasn't started to click with his star players yet.
And that's the thing. What
That's-
I'm seeing improvement at is I'm seeing improvement with him running the offense. I'm seeing
Yeah.
improvement with him standing in there and being able to make a play. I'm seeing improvement in him getting the touch with his wide receivers, right? Listen, the touchdown pass comes after he overthrows. And I think as I've watched the play more, right, you can say both of them are at fault. DJ underruns. That pass from Caleb looks too flat. It looks like he was trying to throw you just didn't need to throw one there. You needed to have a touch pass on that one. So I think maybe both of them are a little bit at fault. But my thing is I'm seeing Caleb Williams be able to go in there, understand what he's seeing, assess what he's seeing, make changes at the line, drop back. Okay, we need to kill. We running this.
Yeah.
We need what was the one? He's in 3rd and 15. He's like, oh no, this ain't gonna work. This pass ain't gonna work. We going to a draw play. He kills it, goes to a draw play. Play gets you 5 to 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yards on that one. I think it was 5. But like you're taking what the defense is giving you, but for you to do that, you have to understand what you're seeing that the defense is giving you.
Yeah.
I like that from Caleb Williams. I understand his short pass. I understand his dink and dunk type stuff right now. Doesn't mean that's what it's going to be forever. And the fact that he's computing that 4 games into the NFL is important. And the fact that he's having that moment with DJ Moore after
To get on the
he
same
overthrows
page.
it
Yeah.
or DJ underruns it, whichever side you're on that.
Yeah.
You know, he's sitting there after, okay, this is what I saw on that. This is where I need to place the ball. This is what I want to see. What did you see on that? All right, let's figure it out. All right, let's get it in sync. They get it in sync on the touchdown pass in the second half. You know, so I think that those are things where you can clearly see that Caleb Williams is growing and is developing. And that's what makes me excited about, yes, I know it's 157 yards, but you continue to see the IQ go the right direction. That's going to lead to a good quarterback because we know he has the talent.
What it's turning into is kind of like the Peyton Manning-ish kind of deal, the fully grasping versus like shout out to John with the stats, like Caleb with Justin and Jaden. And I think that the narrative would be that as Caleb is really trying to be engrossed with the offense, I would say that Justin is kind of like putting situational stuff for him to. This is what he can do. Versus like this is Arthur Smith doing his thing.
Yeah.
And I would say Jaden's kind of in the same boat where it's like, and Jaden kind of runs a little bit more too. So, but look at that. I mean, 787 passing yards, 87, 141. You got with 3 touchdowns. Justin's 830 passing yards with 77 out of 109 with 145 rushing yards.
You know the part that gets me with these stats, and we can put these up, but only one of them is top 3 in sacks right now. Only one of them is top 3 in pressures and stuff like that.
Right.
The circumstances are not the same,
Right.
but we're having comparable conversations.
That's a bar.
You know?
That's a bar, though.
Thank
Good
you,
job.
sir.
Good job.
Do I get one?
I don't even know what it is.
Dang, now you don't know what a
No,
button
no,
is? Dang, the moment I cook, I don't even get the button.
No, he cooked on that one. I'm sorry, man.
Dang.
You got it. See, you
After
shot
the
you
You all
out,
right?
man.
You good?
No,
No,
man,
we got it.
move on to
Yeah,
the
you
next
get over it.
topic.
Hey, don't
man.
pout. You got it.
You get over it. Hey, man, appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love. Let us know your thoughts. Do you feel like Caleb Williams is progressing
Ooh, that's a
in
new word.
the right progression?
Progressing.
Progressing.
That might be a new
That's a
word.
new word.
though.
That's a
Yeah.
word of the day right
That's a new word of the
Hey,
day.
Progression.
disrespectful spider in this.
Hey, now you trying to deflect from his word. I got him. Listen, what the
No, man, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Now let's talk about the offense as a whole, because while Caleb Williams did look better in this second half, this offense also looked better. Now in the first half, there's a lot of questions. But in the second half, I thought this offense really did a good job of getting itself going. I thought that, like I said, a lot of the blocking schemes for the screen passes were starting to work a lot better because your players just started to execute better. Dare I say maybe that meeting about getting into your players a little bit more that the Mercedes Lewis and them had with Shane Waldron ended up actually working, because in the first half, I don't think that, and we got it up here, right? Shane Waldron calls a better game. I don't think Shane Waldron called a different game in the second half.
Me either.
I think that the players began to execute and the players began to make their plays. And I know that we want to protect the players, and it's always on the coaches, and it's always their fault, and they're the reason that things are. But like, he was calling 12 personnel in the first half. It didn't work. He was calling bubble screens in the first half. They didn't work. He was calling tight end screens in the first half. They didn't work, right? He was calling post routes in the first half. They didn't work. Why? Because you got to be able to execute your plays. I just thought in the second half, we saw players execute what they were able to do. And especially a guy like DeAndre Swift, especially, in this offense with the numbers that we were able to see from him, getting that going really opened up Shane Waldron's play, really opened up what Shane Waldron could do offensively with this team.
You had a bar on the post game. I believe it was on the post game. He said, just because we don't like the play or the scheme doesn't mean that it shouldn't work or that the player shouldn't execute it. So the whole thing about the screens, you hate the tight end screen.
That's stupid.
But it works everywhere else around the league.
Yeah, but
it does work around the league. Do we like it?
It does work.
But
it does
works.
work. If Rome Odunze blocks for Cole Kmet, it's a first down. Easily. Because DeAndre Swift has his man hemmed up 10 yards down the field. It's a first down and probably more, if we're being honest. But I do hate that you called it. Terrible call.
Somebody makes their blood.
Terrible call.
We got
to execute it.
And now my quarterback gets 10 extra yards on his.
There's a lot of bad calls that turn into good plays. You know what I mean? Like I think right. Like even with Jalen Johnson when he was on Richard Sherman's podcast, and he said, I'm going out here to make a play. And Flus had called palms. I believe it was out of cover four palms, basically. So he's just trying to stay with his man. And he's like, nah, I'm going to make a play. And he goes back and he makes a pick. It's a game-saving pick. You go in the other direction. You know what I mean? So I think is that a great call by Flus in that situation? Probably not.
Right.
But Jalen executed. I don't think it's not fortunate, though. And that's my point. If you do your job in that moment, you're not relying on fortune. If Rome Odunze blocks, it's a first down. It is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's no question about it. And in the second half, when we saw plays similar to that, and they blocked, all of a sudden, these guys were going up the field. All of a sudden, the offense works. All of a sudden, dare I say, DeAndre Swift looks like a pass-catching running back that can get up the field.
How much does he make?
$8 million. Too much.
Gotcha.
$8 million.
Okay.
Way too much.
Yeah.
Sick of it.
I see this person in the chat, and at first I was going to ignore it, but the commentary is not bad. Like we do have to accept opposing arguments for even our own. This is an interesting comment. It's interesting because he's not necessarily wrong.
No, he is wrong.
No, hear me out.
Caleb Williams was more talented than Jaden Daniels all 4 years of college.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
No. He's already wrong. He said we were squinting and hoping and projecting.
No. He's talking about in the league.
It's an overreaction.
Hey, listen, Kyle Pitts was the man in college.
He said with Jaden, the talent is obvious and glaring. With Caleb, it's more squinting and hoping, projecting.
And again, he's talking about in the league. If you're talking about the last 3 weeks, Jaden has put up better numbers and has looked like a stud. The last 3 weeks, Caleb has struggled. That is a fact.
Yes, but Jaden has not been asked to do nearly. I don't think
there's a lot of context missing
people,
with that.
When people make the Jaden to Caleb comparison, I don't like it because they're not being asked to do the same thing.
There's a lot of context missing with that, but it's still a conversation. And it is one that eventually you have to face head on.
I don't mind facing it, but I think here's the conversation for me. Jaden Daniels is being asked to go out there and run a much simpler offense, an offense that he's used to being in.
Absolutely.
Cliff Kingsbury has absolutely dumbed it down for him, and when Jaden is in there, it's working. It doesn't mean that I think Jaden is not uber talented. I thought Jaden was talented coming out of college. But the one thing that will happen is when you look at those numbers, look at where all those passes are coming from. They're all on the right side of the field. As he started to throw deep balls, they're all on the right side of the field. As he's starting to be more successful, it's all on the right side of the field. Defenses in the NFL are going to adjust to that.
Yes,
he's having a great 4 weeks.
Yes,
no quarterback ever has had a 4-week stretch this good. And so I'm giving him his credit. And here's why I give him his credit, and I give Cliff Kingsbury his credit. Because it's what I wanted somebody to do with Justin Fields.
There you go. Talk to him.
I don't need every quarterback to be Peyton Manning. I watched Lamar Jackson for 3 years be Lamar Jackson, the runner. And then they were like, yo, this dude can kind of pass. Maybe we should get him some wide receivers and an offensive line.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's a phenomenal passer. And when you hear him talk football, he's got a great football IQ, and he understands what defenses are giving him. And he throws it over 90% of the Bills' defense when he needs to, right? So, like,
up until you ran it.
Up until he ran fumble. That was crazy. But I mean, when you're
no
35-14,
you can take some chances.
But my point in all that is I have to give Cliff Kingsbury credit for running an offense that fits Jaden Daniels.
Facts.
I do not know if Jaden Daniels could have run this offense.
No. I don't think Jaden Daniels would have survived this O-line. Realistically,
Jaden Daniels is also 180 pounds.
He has a better O-line. The time that he has to even make the decision as to whether or not he has to run or something, if you look at some of his plays, comes after he's already made a couple reads.
Yes.
Caleb hasn't had that opportunity.
Yeah,
and
Jaden
when you
Daniels
really
has
compare
a top
him,
15 offensive line in the NFL.
top 15?
I believe it's 13 right now.
I think he has one of the best pass catching backs in the league too, right?
Brian Robinson.
Brian Robinson.
The rest of the skill position players.
He's got Terry McLaurin.
They're okay, but I think having a better line shows you the difference.
Yeah.
We've had one of the worst lines.
But I think that what I'm saying is it's not apples to oranges when you talk about developing the players to me, because Caleb, what Shane Waldron is doing for Caleb Williams is working for Caleb Williams. Brad Biggs wrote an article, and I thought that this was a great way to frame it. Shane Waldron is here to do two jobs. Develop Caleb Williams.
Right.
Facts.
Everybody say it's going well?
I think it's
going well.
It's improving every week.
He's seeing it. He's seeing defenses. He understands what he's seeing.
Yep.
He's understanding where to throw the football. He's throwing the spots. He's doing anticipatory throws. All the things we want to see. He's seeing it. Second job is run the offense. There's some questions there.
Yeah.
But the first part of his job, he is doing.
I think he's doing a good job running offense for a rookie.
No, I'm talking about Shane Waldron.
Oh,
I'm talking about Shane Waldron.
Okay.
And I think that is why this is a different situation. Cliff Kingsbury is running his same offense that he has run for Kyler Murray, that he has run that works to develop these guys.
I saw that. That's crazy.
That absolutely works to develop these guys. I think that Jaden Daniels will be a good quarterback because he is paired with Cliff Kingsbury. I think that teams will begin to figure him out his rookie year. 82% is not sustainable.
I'm going to add something.
Right, and so it's a law of averages like that. I'm not. I think Jaden Daniels is. My whole point, even with the Jaden Daniels thing, I said, look, if Caleb didn't want to be here, I said, there's a whole other Heisman winning quarterback coming out of the draft.
I wanted
right?
Jaden. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But my thing is that it's still being a rookie where you have to go through a lull. Like even there's games where CJ Stroud didn't have a great games every week.
Oh yeah.
So they're going to
48-yard game,
and that was my point. I thought maybe Caleb would come out, huh?
I said, no, not that bad.
Yeah,
he said a 48-yard game.
He had a game like it was like 40, maybe 50, maybe 50.
So but the point is that there is a lull. All quarterbacks go through this, especially rookies. Now, by the time, say like week 10, week 11, week 12, it starts to click, where they start to actually they're getting acclimated to the game speed, all those type of things. What we see with Caleb is it feels like it's a week-to-week thing of him getting better and better and of what he is asked to do. So I just think that's more about the issue is the comment that a lot of people say about Caleb is that it's the processing that he has. Him being able to really learn this game and really be able to run the offense. Yeah. So that's the leg up that he might have with some of these other guys. But everybody's expecting they want him to come right in and throw for 300-400 yards, rookie, his first games and stuff like that. So because it hasn't happened, that's where the criticism's coming in. And then you see, what Jaden Daniels is kind of doing to me is kind of what Trubisky would do. Because if he would run and break a big run, and then he's like in the end zone or the red zone, he would get a couple throws, but that would break a defense, right? Because it's like everybody's covered. Oh, I can take off.
Jaden not really doing that though.
He's ran a little bit.
He's ran a little bit, but watching Jaden games, Jaden is not using his legs. I think there's one game where he's got like 80 yards this season, but outside of that, Jaden has used his arm.
I'm saying that Trubisky did too. All I'm saying is that
Commanders' offensive line rankings per PFF, and they haven't been updated for week 5, but that 13th.
What's
13th best offensive line in the NFL going into that week.
Let
me get to the bottom here.
Keep scrolling.
22nd?
No, we're not that far down. We got to be up. We got to be a little bit higher than that, maybe. Because they always give the Bears offensive line more love than it actually is. 20th.
So,
and it says best player Teven Jenkins, who didn't spend half of the week on our offensive line. By the way, we do got to give an update on that as well. I was meant to do that in the first segment. As of right now, Teven Jenkins is day to day, so that will impact this offense as well and what Shane Waldron can do. Day to day with bruised ribs for Teven Jenkins. That's a tough loss because now the question is heading into next week.
Go on, sit it out.
Is Nate Davis getting his job back?
probably. And they moved to prior. If I hear one of you say that Nate Davis is going to be starting, you going to feel my wrath. Real quick, man.
Nate Davis gets the starting spot.
No, I don't want that one. I want this one. So, yeah, we got to also shout out Swift, man. Swift came in there. Like Waldron calling a better game. Also, we got Swift, 93 yards, 16 carries. What? 72 yards
moving out the way to 72.
Oh, okay, yeah, 72, yeah. With a touchdown like he did.
Looked like an $8 million quarterback.
He looked good. He looked good.
Listen,
$8 million running back.
Here's what I say. Do it again. and the reason I say that is because a lot of DeAndre Swift's numbers from last season are basically from 3 games. They're games just like this where he had the big carries, he had the big receptions, he has the he has the phenomenal offensive day, and so at the end of the year your stats look great. But if you have a day like this once a month, I got a problem. So again, not to say that I don't think DeAndre Swift played well. I'm glad that he finally played like the $8 million man. If he could do this every week, I would still come on here every week and say you shouldn't pay running backs, but I would have a much harder time fighting off everybody going.
But correct me if I'm wrong. This is what he did in Philly, though. Like he'd have 1 or 2 down games, and he'd crack off for like 2, 3 good ones in a row. Then have a couple more down games.
Not 2 or 3. It was one like this. His numbers in Philly are so up and down. You got to think. Philly had an offensive line. Philly had everything that they needed. They could have got, if they wanted to keep DeAndre Swift, they definitely could have. And they were like, we're going to get rid of you. Like, we don't even want to have this conversation. Go test free agency.
Oh, Saquon?
Literally. You know what I mean? And this is before Saquon. They're like, get up out of it. They literally told him before free agency, like, you're good. Yeah, I mean, we're good. We appreciate you playing the work version of our game. So I think that
we don't need more.
The tough part about it isn't, and I give them credit, and I think it's an all-encompassing conversation. If you get this out of Swift, Shane Waldron's offense opens up. All of a sudden, you see Caleb Williams looking a heck of a lot better.
Play action.
When we didn't see this out of Swift? In the first half.
We ain't seen anything in the first half, though.
Really, you saw nothing in the first half.
It was a pedestrian offense.
So like that's my point where like you have to find the things that are sustainable. You have to go out there and be able to compete and succeed week in and week out with those things that are sustainable. Do I think that DeAndre Swift can do this week in and week out? I hope. But I've watched him in 2 years not do it.
But here's my question to you. And it goes into Shane's play calling and things of that nature. So the circumstances that allowed him to have this good game, they presented themselves. He took advantage of it. We saw it. You called it out, things of that nature. You also were the same person to call out that they didn't exist in previous games. Like, it's hard to sit there and expect him to have 93 yards when he's getting tackled in the backfield. So he's barely getting back to the line of scrimmage. So what was different? What was different about the protection that allowed him to do it this time versus others?
I think it's player execution all the way around. It's not just on the guys blocking for you. I think it's also player execution on the fact that DeAndre Swift saw the holes, right? And weeks before, when the reason that they were talking about benching DeAndre Swift, not really benching him, but moving him to kind of the RB2 role, because I do believe they were fully planning on playing Roshan more than DeAndre Swift. And then Swift got himself going, and they were like, well, let's keep this going. You know what I mean? Like,
it was funny because when they pointed out a lot of his missteps where it's like his vision either, there was things that was pointed out where either he could have made a cut here, a cut there. Like he saw it better.
He wasn't seeing the holes. He wasn't seeing the press bounce. He wasn't seeing, he was missing where things were opening up. There's one play that stands out that everybody keeps talking about with DJ Moore. He's got his man sealed up. It's outside zone. Run outside the zone. He tries to cut it up too early. But I love how J-Mac broke it down when we were on, I think we were on the post game show, or maybe we were on the Breeze, one or the other. Or I'm sorry, not the Breeze. Maybe we were on the Chicago Bears podcast. But he said, basically you're expecting somebody to be on the outside of that hit because you've been hit all day.
True.
So I know it's a different position, but like when you spend all day getting hit, running backs are seeing goes too. Wide receivers are seeing goes too because you're expecting like this ain't worked the whole time. Why the heck would it work now? You know what I mean? So I think that I say all that to say I do fully think they were planning on sitting him down. But I also think that once it started getting going, they were like, no, keep giving him the ball, which I think is a phenomenal call by Shane Waldron, by the coaching staff overall.
Phenomenal.
We've crushed the coaching staff for the most part throughout this season, deservedly so. I think that this was a game where you can say that the coaching staff did exactly what I wanted to see from them. And I said this on the Bears pod today. This was a competent win.
Yep.
But I don't leave this game feeling like it was a confident win. It's not a win that I'm like, they'll do that every single week going into next week. And I still feel that way because Caleb Williams still got put on his back quite a bit in this game.
I actually can't disagree with you on that because like I said, it's when you can beat the bums. Yeah, we can beat bums. I want us to be at a point where it's like we are contenders and we deserve to play.
Well, you ain't going to get there no time soon with this offensive line. So I'm not even there. I'm glad that we beat the Rams because I don't think that there's a lot of hope for beating a lot of teams with an offensive line like this when you get to the best of the best. But I'm going to tell you this right now. How we going to deal with the Vikings blitzing every other play?
Because they're going to blitz every other play.
Well, every other play. Smart enough to figure out
how we I mean, listen,
what's
like the NFC North is blitzing this year, dog. Blues included.
Yeah.
It's one guy on that team you got to worry about.
Let's move to that best and worst of the weekend.
Let's finish it off, man, with the best and worst of the weekend, man. There's a lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff this weekend. I think a good chunk of our worst was the Dikembe Mutombo news. Sure. I know that was after this weekend, but seeing that kind of threw us off. Oh, there's other worst out there, but now adding Pete Rose into that, we kind of got into our worst. Dub, you got a worst? You start with the worst first? What's going on, Dub?
That rhymed.
As a White Sox fan.
Oh, Dub, you bastard.
As a White Sox fan. As a White Sox fan. As a lifelong White Sox fan who was introduced to Frank Thomas, this is the most disgusted I've ever been to. As you see, I've worn my White Sox hat in months. This is the most disgusted I've ever been. And then to have the second worst win percentage in league history for your owner to basically put pen to paper and write a pathetic letter.
Oh, the letter was wild.
A pathetic letter.
The letter was wild.
Basically, not taking accountability himself as to why this team is the way it is. Him interjecting himself into the decision making and not letting his general manager do what they need to do. I am disgusted. And to me, the worst of the weekend goes out to Jerry Reinsdorf. The worst of the weekend goes out to the White Sox franchise. We are one of the worst teams in MLB history.
No, not one of. The
worst team in MLB history. The 62 Mets had the worst win percentage by a couple of points, but they didn't complete 162 games. They only played 160 games. So therefore, we are the worst team in baseball history. I'm disgusted as a guy from the South Side. And to me, Reinsdorf, do better. 2025, I can't wait till you get here. Sell the team.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm to a point now, dog. Like with the White Sox, I'm just like, hey, bro, like, just move.
We don't even put the logo.
Just move, bro. Like it's not worth it. Just move.
We don't have the Sox logo.
We don't talk about the Sox,
bro. It's not even worth it, bro. Like we've had Cubs conversation on this show. It's not worth it. I don't want to. I won't let that basketball up here though.
You know what's funny? They had worse attendance than the Carolina Panthers, who were selling games for $1.88. Carolina Panthers sold the tickets for $1.88.
Well,
that's crazy.
The White Sox were worse.
Well, Panthers are getting some traction now because of the good last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, right. Don't get me wrong. We're just talking about worse teams and empty stadiums.
Yeah.
Oh, that stadium was empty.
Yeah.
The White Sox was.
But you got baseball has old long money, but the NFL still has they have the
you
TV
said old
deals.
long
Old money, like long. They got long old money.
Oh,
Hold
snap.
on.
I'm gonna let that slide. I'm gonna let that slide. Listen, I'm gonna let that slide.
He reached
Hey,
that challenge slide.
listen. This is shaky. You were pushing it, buddy. You were pushing it. All right?
But technically, the money that the baseball teams bring in, I mean, Reinsdorf says he can't generate the type of money that he needs to pay for those players, right? Versus Carolina football, where the NFL has that profit sharing where they got the TV rights, so they got all that money coming there regardless. So,
man, that sounds like a rich problem.
No.
Sounds like he needs to sell the team. If he can't afford
I'm not
to
making an
manage and
excuse
get
for
the-
him. I'm just saying that
I know
for
you're
him,
not.
he
I'm just
doesn't
saying.
have the forward thinking, or he's too busy with the mentality of however he's ran his business this whole time.
Hey, he's trying to get everybody on that year one Michael Jordan deal. You know,
Yeah.
hey, play for me.
It's
10 years for
it's
$3
time
million
to
bucks.
put him
That's
out
what
the
He's
pasture.
still running his team.
Yeah.
He's still literally running his team
it's
like
time
the
to put him
80s.
out the pasture.
It's all right.
It's
It's all right.
time
It's
to-
okay. It's all right.
It's time for some new blood, new thinking, new.
What do you think is going to happen first? He sells the team, or we lose that team?
No, it's
in the
just going to
city?
go to the Sun. He has to probably be out of the pic. It might be one of them Rocky Wirtz situations, like the dad, son, and then the son takes over. That's staying in the family.
I think they're going to.
Yeah, they're not. Michael's not getting rid of the Suns.
Yeah.
No, he won't have to get rid of South. They just won't be in Chicago.
No,
No,
Michael
in
don't want to
Chicago.
leave.
no.
Michael like it here.
They still
Jerry
trying to
wanna
get that. They still trying to get that. What's it? The
And it
78th?
ain't no stadium about to happen in Nashville. Nashville was like, we don't want you either.
They'll make way more money being in Chicago. the third
Nashville was
largest
like,
market.
don't come down here. Like,
It's more expensive to maintain it though,
Yeah, but you
and he
get
has
more-
like nothing around him. That's a desert. Like
What?
there's a food desert. Like you go to
yeah, but he
Wrigley,
finna build
you
it up.
have
Right,
they
but
want to move.
everything.
But
That's
they're
why-
talking
that's why
about.
he
But
wanna-
that's what they're
that's why
trying
he
to
wanna
get
build
the
it up. That's the whole
78th. I
point,
think it's
yeah.
called the 78th neighborhood or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't go to 79.
Hey, well, I hope he
Eric-
gets that because you might find somebody that looks just like Bryce Young over there. You know,
Oh,
Yeah, we'll see.
snap.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
always on his back. That's all right.
Hey, watch yourself now.
Ooh, snap.
Hey, listen, what's your worst bet? Oh, Joe, I skipped somebody.
I mean,
my bad.
yeah, my worst is I was coming in with Dikembe. That was the worst thing that I had heard
That's
this
gonna be bad,
weekend. I
too.
mean, it wasn't a ton of worse. You know what? I'll take it. Dikembe's still my worst, but in a football sense, Rashee Rice
Oh, you got
running
Yeah,
into
man.
Patrick Mahomes and messing up the ACL.
For fantasy purposes.
I didn't even see that. That's what happened. Okay.
Yeah,
I think
that
Pat was
knee
trying to
went
make a
backwards,
tackle, right? He
dog.
was trying to tackle.
It was trying. It was a bad pass going
For
the other way. He was trying to make a
fantasy.
tackle. That knee went backwards. That
For
was
fantasy
that was
purposes.
one of my worst for fantasy purposes.
For
That's a whole different
fantasy?
thing. Kid.
I
It's a
lost,
dark joke.
I lost.
Oh, that
13
means
points
Xavier
again
Worthy
for
goes up.
fantasy purposes.
That means Xavier Worthy becomes.
No,
the guy.
I hope he has a speedy recovery and everything goes well. I actually do have one that's not sports related. It probably wasn't even necessarily over the weekend, but we saw it as we were sitting here. It's not necessarily Dikembe or anybody, but that again, rest in peace to that. And my condolences to their families and Pete Rose as well. I'm gonna go more pop culture. Young Thug has been on trial for what it seems to be forever. Okay? Young Thug has been on trial so long. I forgot what he was on trial for. Listen, in fact, he's been on trial so long, the DA seems to have forgotten what he's on trial for. Because what the heck is he talking about? This is what I want to say to DA Love.
Did
Get
he,
it-
what,
hey,
so
listen,
what was it? He got a RICO act? or
he has a
something?
RICO. Like,
He
listen,
got a Rico out, but
he
at
got
this
a-
point, it's just a co.
the last 20 days, because I mean, it's my guilty pleasure. I listen to it and I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm just doing mindless stuff. We've talked about everybody but him. Everybody but how they're connected to him. I have no idea why these people are there. And the judge is just about sick of it. So at this point, if you all haven't seen it, the judge done chewed her out for like 2 ways to Sunday. And we're still going to court. I say we like I'm related to him. They're still going to court. I have no
The
idea.
views of PK
What's
are
happening?
kids
Right?
and kids alone, just in case y'all want to come bring a Rico round.
Hey, listen. You bring a Rico around me, y'all, you gonna do is watch towers. Anyway, listen, I ain't got nothing for you. But at this time, like, listen, we have no idea what's happening. So get it together. Like, this is the worst showing I've ever seen by anybody representing any state in any court setting in my life. And she did it wearing a hot yellow dress. Why? She didn't look good in it either. So at this point, just quit. Like let's let this man go. Let him do something else stupid. You could try him for that. But at this point, this got to stop. Like, honestly, they just doing it for views at this point.
Yeah.
This is, hey, listen, we need to start covering it. We get 1
Yeah.
million views just off covering that, and we won't know what's going on. All we're going to hear is objective sustained half the time.
No, fact.
There we go. So let's do that. That's my worst of the weekend because somebody going to get fired. It's going to be her. That's it.
My worst was I didn't have really a worst. I was so busy over the weekend. I was just glad I guess Teven getting a rib injury is bad because I didn't like to see the offensive line get weaker. The Kimbe going, passing away. And I guess what for the best? I'm trying to think what was the best. I mean, the Bears dub is always good. I didn't have a lot of best over the week. Oh, I did go to Brian McKnight's concert.
Oh, that sounds
That's
like the
the
worst.
best.
That was definitely the best. We went all the way out to Rockford. I'd
Okay.
never been to Rockford.
I thought it was about to be the worst.
It was
No.
in Rockford?
Yeah, all the way at the Hard Rock Casino, whatever it was
Oh,
out there.
Northwest Indiana.
No, in Rockford.
Oh, Rockford.
Yeah.
There's a casino in Rockford?
Yeah, it's
Shout out
way
to
out
Rockford.
there. It's about an hour and a half up there. But
Okay.
great weekend with the wife. But Brian McKnight, that man cold. That man is cold.
I want to just add this worst then. The worst for the weekend is Jordan as well, because Jordan is still riding this high for Tory Taylor. He's even in the comments. I just want you to know. You do get donkey of the weekend because you really want that 65-yard punt to mean something, and maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But I saw a lot of people kick some long
He
punts
did
yesterday.
pin them down. He pinned them.
It was a great punt to flip the field.
I saw a lot of good punts yesterday.
But
Hey, even the announcer.
I saw a really good one from the Rams punter who was taken in the 7th
Hey,
round.
hey, listen, the 7th round. Yeah, listen. Hey, even the announcer was like, in this new age of kicking, we have 65-yard field goals going on. So I guess this is
crazy.
nothing new.
That's crazy.
The guy said it on the broadcast. I didn't make it up.
Well,
So, I mean,
technically, Taylor, he helps the defense. If the fact that he pinned the Rams in a very short field for them. I mean, all the way in the 2, the 5.
hey, Joe,
2 plays later, interception.
wasn't it a guy that you wanted that ended up playing us yesterday that was drafted after him or no? No, you drafted before him?
No. We took
Jared Verse?
Jared
No,
Verse
Jared
was
Verse
the
drafted
first
before
round.
him.
Drafted
Yeah,
in the
first
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 round.
round. All right,
Yeah,
all right.
I wanted us to
Who else
trade
was
for-
that? No, it was another guy.
We took Booker I wanted Booker in the 4th round, and
Mhm.
we were like, we're not getting
Austin
the
Booker
defensive
did
end.
look decently yesterday too. He's starting to make an impact.
Yeah,
too.
he looked.
Yeah.
There's a couple. He did some impact.
Man, he lit that one dude. He lit the
There's
running back up.
There's a picture. No, I have a picture somewhere, and he bopped somebody. I think it was the tight end, but we took him in the 4th round.
Yeah.
We wanted him in the 4th, and they traded back in to get Booker, so we were happy about that.
We didn't never find that center O lineman that we could have got for that. Did we? I didn't.
No, never did find that.
Never find
did
that guy. Okay.
No, you're talking about the guy that went to. It was Pittsburgh took a center. I think they took the West Virginia guy.
Is that Cedric Van Pran?
No, Cedric Van Pran went somewhere else. I think he went to Buffalo, and the
Yeah,
guy
Van Pran is in Buffalo.
the other guy from West Virginia went to Pittsburgh.
Yes,
So,
and he's starting
yeah. So
and playing well.
And he's playing well. What
Yeah.
round was he chosen?
Second.
Okay.
when was he? Saying?
Yeah.
He was a second. I thought you said he was. We were talking about people afterwards.
No, I
No, I
forget.
think he went in the 2nd round.
Van Pran went
Van Pran
4th
went
in the 4th round. Was it
5th.
3rd?
Van Pran went 5th.
There we go.
Or late 4th, one or the other. I don't know. My best of the weekend is the title topic here. Caleb Williams breaking an NFL record.
NFL.
Now, maybe they're stretching these records. Maybe this is a LeBron record. LeBron James has never dribbled across half court with his left hand on a Tuesday when
At
he's able to
6:59.
at 6:59
So
when
now you want to
when he
acknowledge my
rises up.
irrelevant stats? Okay, go
I
ahead.
don't know if it's irrelevant though, because it is a stat.
Is
I'm
it
just
a
saying,
Bears?
make it up stat.
Is it
This is a NFL friend. This is an NFL stat, which is actually impressive. Caleb Williams becomes the first rookie quarterback selected number 1 overall, and the temp is too late. That's a terrible temp. That was horrible. I saw you going for it. I want to smack your hand.
Oh, snap.
That was horrible.
Keep going.
Jesus.
Go ahead, set it up.
Caleb Williams becomes the first rookie QB selected number 1 overall in the NFL draft to win each of his first 2 career home starts in the common draft era, which is impressive because the fact that no other quarterback has done it, I'll take it that a Bears quarterback has done it.
Right.
What is considered the common draft era?
I think
Probably
just
the
this
90s.
format of draft.
How long is this? I mean, the reason I'm asking is because I just find that very hard to believe that no number 1 overall won his first 2 home games.
That's crazy.
None of them.
Let's see. What is the
Was Andrew Luck number 1 overall?
The common era was the selection combined with the draft.
Andrew Luck didn't win his first home game?
1969.
First 2?
Oh.
I don't even know what this means, the breakdown of this.
Yeah, no, see, no.
The common draft era was the
Making
selection
up
of
stats.
college football players in a combined draft from 1967 to 1969 by the American Football League and the National Football. Oh, when the merger happened. So since the merger happened in 1966, no first overall quarterback has done that. So that's impressive.
Andrew
Zach
Luck lost
Frazier.
his first
That's
two.
impressive.
He won his first one, lost his second one. That's interesting.
So King Booker World said, somehow ESPN knows when LeBron sleeps with 2 pillows instead of 1, he shoots 40% from 3-point range.
just a crazy stat.
That is an impressive stat when you think about since 1966. Think about how many number 1 overall quarterbacks have been selected.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but
That's
somebody just sitting around
That
like,
is
I got an idea. I'm gonna look up some stats.
Well, there's an entire
Oh my
division of stat people.
Was
I
Dan
got an
Marino?
idea.
Hey, was that Dan Marino? Dan Marino's number 1 overall?
No, Dan Marino was like 17th
Yeah, no,
or something.
Dan
Okay.
was later in that
I
draft.
said, I'm just trying to go down the list. I'm like, who's the other one?
What?
Because there's another stat that said
You talking about
40.
number one?
There's another
Mike
stat that
Vick,
says
or-
50% of the number 1 QBs drafted number 1 overall have gone on to be Pro Bowlers or something like that.
Yeah.
So like when you have that stat and then you pair it with this one, it's like, I think
All
we're
right, so
missing
look,
somebody.
Bryce Young, easily no.
right.
Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is actually surprising. Kyler Murray was cooking when he came out. Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, Jameis Winston, Andrew Luck,
Jared had a
Cam
team,
Newton,
too.
Sam Bradford, Matthew Stafford, Jamarcus Russell, Alex Smith. There's a lot of quarterbacks. It's almost every year a number 1 overall quarterback is taken. Alex Smith, Eli Manning, Carson Palmer, David Carr, Michael Vick, Tim Couch, Peyton Manning, Drew Bledsoe, Jeff George, Troy Aikman, Vinny Testaverde,
Vinny
John Elway, Steve Bartkowski, Jim Plunkett, Terry Bradshaw, Terry Baker, Randy Duncan. Oh, no, Terry Baker will be the last one. Oh, no, Terry Bradshaw will be. That was 1963. So Terry Bradshaw. So no quarterback from Terry Bradshaw until Caleb Williams. By the way, I don't know if you've seen Terry Bradshaw lately. He is old. Oh, Terry is
Pretty old.
he's getting up there. They getting to the point where they're like, all right, he's saying stuff so crazy, we got to correct him on TV.
Time to hang it up.
I love you, Terry, but
Time to
like,
hang it up.
hey, it's time to hang it up, Terry. Terry stuck around one or two TV seasons too long.
He getting that
Getting that
Charles
clock.
Barkley
So,
syndrome.
Andrew
Just
Luck
saying whatever you want to say.
actually was Andrew Luck lost to us his first game. We beat them 41-21,
What year is that?
2012, and then they beat
2012.
Minnesota and
How
won
the heck he lose
23-20.
to us?
And then he lost to Jacksonville in 17-22. So he was 1-3 his first 3 games, and they beat Green Bay and won 30-27. They lost to the Jets, and then they just went off and started winning, win, lose New England, win, lose to Houston,
You
win,
know
win.
the one that surprised me the most,
A lot of winning.
now that you mention it, is Jared Goff. Not because he was so good, but that team was good. And so I'm in my mind.
The
Well,
Rams?
that team,
No.
the
With Jeff
Rams,
Fisher?
No.
Jeff Fisher was
His
I
first-
remember that. No.
his first- that's what I'm saying. Like the defense was good enough for them to win games,
that offense,
but his first year they wasn't. First year, but his second
that
and third
offense
year,
had nothing on it, dog. That offense was destitute.
yeah, no,
They were pedestrian. No,
Yeah, his
No,
sec-
Marshall
Bingo.
Faulk.
This is 2016.
Jared Goff is still in his 20s, dog.
They might have had the
No, he
guy from
30.
Georgia.
Oh, Jared Goff, I think is 29, ain't he?
No, Steve.
30,
Well,
look at him.
Stephen, what's the name? That was a big guy.
No,
in the Rams.
he talking about
Oh,
he
no.
ended up playing in Atlanta.
Right, the big, the guy we passed on that I wanted Pace to get, and he
I
hit
can't
the knee.
remember his name.
Gurley, Ty Gurley.
Ty Gurley. He had Ty Gurley. Marshall Faulk. he just throwing out Rams running back. Yeah, no, that team was horrible.
Matter of fact, Jared Goff didn't play until week 10 of his rookie year,
that's because
and he still lost all.
he lost all his games.
Lost. They lost all of it.
Yeah.
And what's funny is they started off 3-1.
Dude, Drew, you going? You
You
talking
going
about
way
me
back.
old?
Yeah,
You
he going back to Whitey Bulger.
Mark
Oh yeah, a
Bulger.
couple other shout outs too.
We gotta give Drew gotta get the credits.
Couple other good best shout. Okay. I'll take it on the chin. Couple other shout. Oh, I ain't even realize. Hey, rewind the tape.
It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, there you go. All right.
Whoa.
I was gonna help you, but
I was gonna say though, a
I
couple
can't
other
help
shout outs too. Shout out to Lonzo
Take that
Ball
on the
too,
chin by
man.
yourself.
Ooh, that's a good one.
The knee surgeries that this dude is gonna have, man, and he's probably gonna be the first person to play with basically brand new knees. so
Lonzo got a
he
dead
said
dude's knees.
Hey,
in
he
his
said
knees.
it in the press conference
Yeah.
himself. He literally is walking on brand new knees.
Yeah.
And
He rolled back the odometer on him. He rolled that mug back, dog.
hey, and then shout out.
He took 40,000 miles off of
He
them
did.
joints.
He
You mean
did,
tell me
bro.
Derrick Rose should have got them knees? Is what you trying to tell me? Say, where was the surgery at 8 years ago when Derrick Rose needed these knees?
Derrick retiring to see how Lonzo worked out. Derrick's going to run it back.
Baki, you don't have any faith in the full season?
Shout out
I'm actually encouraged.
to the GOAT. Well, one day will
Which
be
one?
replaced by the new GOAT. But Tom Brady said that in 2020, when he was choosing between teams, he almost chose the Bears, and it makes you wonder because
That's
that
cap.
season, I think the Bears went 8-8.
Bears were going after him. I remember that.
Hey,
Yeah.
who's
Yeah,
getting
but
that
I
man?
remember
They
killed?
did a
hearing the
very
rumors
Bears
of that.
Hey,
thing.
that man was about to
They
die.
said I
here.
don't know, 10 million, and Tampa offered him like 21.
Yeah, 50. He made 50 over 2. Yeah.
You mean to tell me we just cheaped out on the GOAT?
He would have got
Yeah.
killed.
I don't know if
he
we
came here.
cheaped out on
He
him, but we
would've
didn't
got
have an
killed.
offensive line, so it didn't matter.
Wait. What year was that? No.
That was
2020.
We didn't have
So
an
we had
offensive line.
James Daniels. We had a decent line.
We had Jermaine Effect.
We finished the season 8-8.
We had Jermaine
We had
Effect.
a decent line.
We had
2020.
Jermaine Effetti. I want you to say we had a decent line with Jermaine Effetti's name being a part of it.
We had a decent line.
Hold on.
We had Jermaine Effetti.
We had a decent line.
Tom Brady would have been dead.
2020.
Hey,
Tom Brady would not be in the
we
booth
lost
right
to
now.
we were in the playoffs that year.
Yeah, we were
8-8.
8-8. Remember they added the extra playoff spot.
So no, wait.
Right. We didn't deserve to be
Yeah.
there.
How many times?
You know why I know what year it is?
Because it was double doink.
Yeah.
I know,
No,
bro.
that's not double
That's
doink.
not double doink.
No,
That's
that's
not.
when I
That's
flipped the table.
28.
No, you flipped. Oh,
Yeah, that's that.
It is.
When we played the Saints.
Oh.
Throwing it to Javon
Hey,
Will.
quick question: how many times did he get
we
sacked
had
that season?
Leno Jr., James Daniels. I said James Daniels.
How many
Cody
times did he get
Whitehair.
sacked that season?
When Cody Whitehair was good, Jermaine Fetty and Bobby Massey.
How many sacks did Mitch get? And Mitch can move.
Let's see, sacks that
Was
year.
he top 10 in sacks?
Probably.
2020.
Probably.
Mitch spent a lot of his
20,
career in
20,
that range.
Can we
You
sack-
know what's crazy?
18. Not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Hey, hold
He
on,
had
man.
38 the year
No,
before.
that's wrong, dog. That's got to
Sack.
be wrong.
He had 38 the year before,
Oh, he played
24,
10
31.
games.
Oh,
he was on pace for that.
yeah.
He was on pace for it. There you go.
We played 10 games that year. Yeah,
All right.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no.
okay.
Yeah, you go right where you went, Tom. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. What maybe gets me back in on that, and I'm a little excited. Tom bringing Gronk.
Yeah.
Tom bringing Gronk. We
Ooh.
getting some stuff
I
done.
mean, I've seen
Oh,
time
snap.
with pressure on him
And
with
he
no
brought-
O-line.
And he brought up.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
And
It
he
ain't
brought
pretty.
up
He's-
the receiver.
AB.
No, AB.
He's statistically the worst. You brought this up. They actually checked
Yeah,
out.
he's
the
statistically
worst.
QB with
QB
pressure.
under
on him.
pressure.
Yeah, Jermaine Effetti would have got that man killed.
Oh yeah, listen, he looked
Yeah,
real mediocre.
Muzz would have been like, "It's over for Tom." The narrative would have been
Bro.
so different.
Guess
Bill
you need
Belichick
Bill.
built Tom Brady. That would have been the narrative.
That's true.
That's interesting.
That would have been the narrative, dog.
Did we
That's
have a really good
nuts.
defense that year, though?
Yeah, we did have a dominant
Like
defense. That's
Khalil
how we got
Mack,
8
I
wins.
think that's always
how we
how
got
we-
8 wins. That's
We had Roach.
Keem Hicks, Khalil Mack.
Roquan.
Hey,
What's his name? Who?
Oh, we had Leonard Floyd and all that.
No, Leonard was
Oh,
gone.
no, he was gone when Khalil Mack got
We had Robert Quinn,
Yes.
Yeah.
Robert
but
Quinn.
he was trashed that year because he was hurt.
Roquan Smith.
Who else?
No, I thought, no, he did.
Danny Trevathan. That's who
Trevathan,
else we
yeah.
had.
Okay,
Danny
yeah,
Trevathan,
yeah.
who also was always hurt.
you think Bill and Tom are going to have that Magic and Isaiah conversation on camera one day?
I don't think Bill and Tom have ridiculous beef. I think their beef is competitive wise because Tom is ahead.
Yeah.
I think Magic and Isaiah's beef was because Isaiah Thomas turned his back on Magic because he had AIDS. That's different.
Yeah, they flipped on. I was so
You didn't have to
for,
say it
for the
like that,
record,
but
Tom
that's
Brady,
what it is. What?
Tom Brady was sacked 21 times that year in 2020. So
Oh, he would have made it.
no,
Tom would have made it.
Tom also played 17
he
games.
played
though.
more
Hey,
games.
no, here's what I'm saying. Tom would have threw that ball away.
That's true.
Tom would have got the ball
Tom
out
was
quicker.
like, I'm not getting sacked.
Maybe Jermaine Effetti would have helped Tom get the ball out quicker.
Tom would have had
Tom
so
also has a different standard. So, like, the Bears would have had to acquiesce to Tom Brady's standard, and that's why Tom Brady didn't come here, because the Bears don't acquiesce to anyone's standard.
Then maybe they
But
should.
he said they made a really good pitch for him. He was like, man, I was close.
Yeah, I heard that. Right before he dissed Baker Mayfield. That mess was hilarious, though.
Shout out to Baker.
Because I thought having fun was having rings.
Oh,
7 of them
bang.
things. 7 of them things.
Hey,
baby.
man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. King Book World with a bar. Said Danny Trevathan just got his last check for $349.62 from the Bears. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. We gonna get up out of here, man. For the super producer Joel, hold the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid, of course. C-Dub on the ones and twos, and Drew making the music move. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. One love.
One love.
Peace.
One love.
7 of them things. So back to this bidet.
Hey, no toilet paper. You say you don't need toilet paper for the bidet? I'm not here for that, dog.
I'm not saying you don't need
That's
it.
exactly what you said.
You said what I'm saying is like you don't need it for the way how you normally use toilet paper.
So you don't pat dry.
You don't pat dry.
What you using? Your hand?
No. You use the tissue, but what I'm saying is you're basically clean. So, hey,
Nah, bro.
He
I don't like
basically
it. So you only need